The preparation time is over. Debaters may please start their rebuttal speeches.
Fellow contradicting and co-debaters, acknowledging all of your points socially and politically, I would like to begin my rebuttal. You have classified the behavior in your speech as analytical and evoking, which is very good, by putting examples of response of an eye to light and hammer by the knee. With the brainstorm of the chess moves, however, sir, in my opinion, I'm being an advocate of science in my debate. I consider behavior and emotions that are evoked in the diaspora of this thin line of mental mapping between the brain and the mind. However, I also would like to contradict yourself on various social aspects which bring to light something which is not evolved from something so vast as a mind or brain that does not actually determine the cause of free will. Free will is actually an evolved form of science itself. Some people may actually define it as spirituality as well. For example, the monks in Abidjan, they have the ability to even have scientific quotes for themselves but tag it as free will, which is not hypocrisy but is a way of diplomacy. Secondly, sir, to be very blunt and addressing the elephant in the room, a spiritual concept like free will does not have the competence against science to explain many disorders like schizophrenia and bipolarity. You can classify it as something beyond your way and beyond your periphery of free will because it only has to relate with the mind. However, the stimuluses that you quoted are good, but disorders like schizophrenia and bipolarity don't have normal stimuluses, but they impinge on differently, which is why they lead to such a result. And in my opinion, only and only solely science has the power to actually define their causes. Continuing, also, by the instances of crocodile and areas you mentioned above, the condition of someone trying to think bad who tries execution, but a person with suicidal tendencies also has a fishier free will, sir. How would you actually define a free will who has the intention of killing oneself and by not evoking hatred by itself only as free will? Because in his primary cause, I found it very unmentionable in your point of view that a person, his or her will, can mold his or her free will with different stimuluses as well. You quoted an example which is not controlled by crocodiles and the guy who wants to chop you off. Because that is the same person and he doesn't want to kill himself and wants a stable life. How would you mention the fact that in the limitations of free will, the very wish to live is also crushed in certain situations? I hereby totally respect and acknowledge your opinions and put my rebuttal to rest. Thank you.
Negation, please start.
As my fellow debater stated that brain is totally a scientific thing and mind can be taken as a concept. You stated that brain actually limits the free will. I want to contradict by saying that in the Bhagavad Gita it is given that ego, intelligence and mind are the things which actually regulates our body. So according to me, if the three of them are in balance, the restriction which the brain imposes on the mind can be removed. And according to me, the community of the excellent ones, the monks, who actually train their body through meditation, have achieved this. The basic motto of meditation is to regulate your energy points known as chakras, which are present in your body. And you also stated the example of hot coffee, that if a hot coffee is kept, your consciousness would say that if you touch it, you will get burned. I would like to say that the monks living in a mountain made up of igneous rocks, they can actually pick up the igneous rocks. You know that they are burning hot. Then how are they able to do so? This is because they have actually trained their body, and through their consciousness they have made believe that actually they can pick it up. And you stated about superstitions. Now superstitions are a fact that they are the theories that are imposed to us by a family or our ancestors. So by that we are actually limiting our free will. On the contradictory, belief and spirituality are the ones that we truly believe and they are not imposed by anyone on us. Spirituality can be taken as implement of belief. For example, in medical science you stated that incurable disease, if they are cured, they are totally because of medical science. I want to quote an example that in the 20th century in Bengal, a surgeon used mental anesthesia to do the surgeries, and the mortality rate was very high. Can you tell me why? Because he actually made the patients believe that they feel no pain, and the what our consciousness thinks is actually imprinted on our subconsciousness. So technically we should train our consciousness in such a way that is only accept positive thoughts, because our subconsciousness only do the implementation, it does not think. The thinking part is done by consciousness. So if our consciousness is trained, the result would come in front of us as an event or condition that would be implemented by the subconscious mind. And moreover, if a person is suffering from an incurable disease, he or she has a chance of he can die or stay alive. Rather, a case study was taken place in which a person which think negatively actually died, because in his conscious mind he put forth a picture that he could not survive his disease, and ultimately it came to him in the form of his death, whereas the other person suffering from the same disease picturized the picture that he can survive the disease and automatically was able to survive it. With this, I would like to rest my rebuttal.
Rebuttal speeches are over now. Participants now may ask questions from their opponents.
I would like to pose forward my question. My first question is, sir, that in your speech, which was based upon negative reinforcement effects on an individual in uncontrolled surroundings, by quoting examples of hammer and knee. However, is it just me who finds your views powerful but biased? Because there has been a positive impact of negative surroundings as well. Ivan P. Pavlov, a scientist, associated the sound of the bell with food under controlled surroundings. And in fact, that dog was subjected and actually found to be salivating on the third day when the food was not offered to him after the sound of the bell. How do you justify it based upon your arguments of free will?
We can actually give that as an example of adaptation. If you force someone, you are actually limiting their free will. So whenever the bell rang, you gave the dog food. So technically after 1 or 2 months, the dog would be in a habit that whenever the bell rings, the food will come to him and he has to eat it. So if you ring the bell and the food doesn't come, the dog is actually expecting it to come and is have framed a picture in his mind that the food will be there when the bell rings. So his hunger, his thirst for the food make all those actions happen, that the saliva comes out from his mouth and he's longing for food. So basically you are limiting his free will. That's all.
So my second question is, so also I found confused notions about free will and freedom in your speech. For an individual's freedom grants him to do anything without another being's harm. But on the contrary, free will tends to overlook it. How in that situation, given your way, you prove that the plan of action of a general dictator is based on terms of free will and not freedom?
See, in case he stated the example of a dictator, he kept on saying that he is free. And the free referred to his free will, that he actually has free will and he can do anything he wants, because I would like to tell you about the power of the subconscious mind. He stated that if he is free, then he is actually transmitting the info through his conscious mind to the subconscious mind that he is actually free, and the actions and the events that he wants would be happening in his life. Whatever he thinks will come in front of him in a form of an event or a condition. That's all. Now you stated that everything is explainable by science and brain. I would like to pose a question. What about the phenomena like astral projection and lucid dreaming?
First of all, debater, I would like you to enlighten me upon those two terms you would like. You have questions for us.
Lucid dreaming is a state of mind in which one can dream according to his will, and astral projection can be taken as separation of body and mind, where mind is separated from the body and can travel anywhere and gets the supreme power. It's actually not fully disconnected from the body, but is connected to the body through a silver umbilical cord.
Right. So let's take this as a basis of psychology. Sir, in daily life experiences, we have different emotions throughout different and various days, and we have different dreams throughout different periods of time. That does not certainly mean that it is controlled by free will, but I might tag it as pure coincidental, that you might expect something, and that emotion that is dominating you over that day. You dream a dream that is so coincidental to that emotion that it actually does, you dream of that emotion that is dominant in your day. Secondly, sir, in psychological aspects, it is totally explainable that how an emotion that is so dominant in your personality, which also reflects how you project yourselves in public, have a dream that is dominated by it. So in my case, sir, lucid dreaming is totally explainable by these concepts.
No more questions now. Question segment is over now. A 3-minute time period is granted to the debaters for the preparation. Time is over. Debaters, please start with the consolidation and rationale speeches.
Okay, so I would like to summarize this up. According to me, we probably won't have the requisitive computing power for a long time to come. And there is a fundamental limit to the precision with which we can measure due to the wave nature of matter. Therefore, according to me, science itself must be agnostic on the issue. However, we can interpret scientific theory and combine it with physiological inquiry to attack the problem. The key point you should be aware about is that free will cannot be coherently defined, let alone justified. And we would always need both astronomical computing power and the ability to measure with near intuitive precision.
Negation, please begin.
I would just like to consolidate that we are responsible for our future, and what we think and how we behave impact on our surroundings. Like for example, a person goes to a crystal ball and he gets his future predicted, and the person says that he's going to die in a month. He kept saying to the person he knew that he's going to die, he's going to die. So the thing it impacted on his mind that he's going to die, and so he kept thinking that he's going to die. So after month he died, and because he thought that his behavior was such that led to his death.
With this last group, here we end our big questions debate session. I request